I'm like, bro, right? Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
This look, the only one I think I'm gonna have trouble with up there is this.
The swivel.
It's because you put. Why you gonna give me the swivel chair? You can't help but want
to. All right, Kansas City. This is Let's Talk Shop KC podcast. I'm your host, Reggie McKeithen. Man, this is crazy who we got on the show today. Mr. Petey McGee himself, man. Hey, you gonna if you haven't, go ahead and Google him real quick so I could just show the little flex about Let's Talk Shop KC podcast. Got him in the building, in the studio. So all you people that say y'all can't pull up, if my boy can pull up, you can pull up.
We out here, man.
You know what I'm saying? So Petey, hey, blessings to you, bro, for pulling up on the shop.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get a chance to talk about Petey and get a chance to see exactly where Petey come from, what he's doing right now, and then more importantly, what's to come. So we're gonna just dive right in, people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so for those that don't know, we always start in prayer.
Okay.
Do you mind praying for us, sir? Is that okay?
No, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for blessing us with this space. Thank you for blessing us with this company of individuals. I ask you to be a guiding hand over us as we go through this interview today.
Yes.
I ask that you fill the room with love. I ask you to fill it with positivity. I ask you to fill it with some nuggets. I ask you to fill it with whatever who may be watching needs. I ask you to bring that into the room right now so that we can dig into it and that we can do all that through you for your sake and for our sakes as human beings under you. I ask you to just be a force as we get ready to do this interview.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Amen. Hey, listen, I can't lie to you, bro. I'm really excited about this interview.
Yeah. Okay.
See, the biggest thing that I try to be pretty transparent with my audience and letting them know that I read this picture that said that at this very moment, I'll remember the day that I prayed for this very moment. Mm-hmm. And so to imagine starting this podcast with like maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. And then to have a major star on your show, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's huge, you know. Yeah. And so it just confirms for me where your dream may have been in Hollywood. My dream is saying that I want to be able to touch every platform, touch every part of the city, every part of the country with everyday stories. And then more importantly, just showing the resilience of people like yourself. Yeah. Coming from the same hood, same streets that I come from, maybe a little younger, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just really excited about this moment. So without further ado, so hey, just introduce yourself for everybody that don't know you. Okay.
My name is Petey McGee. I'm from right here, Kansas City, Missouri. Grew up half of my life in Jersey, so back and forth, but my roots are here in Kansas City. And and I'm an actor. That's what I do currently for a job and a career and a lifestyle.
Hey, that's crazy, bro. So you just starting at the kind of the very beginning, right? Mm-hmm. So you say you born and raised here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
What part?
I grew up on 37th and Wayne.
37th and Wayne.
Yeah, 37th and Wayne. I grew up. My grandma had that house. Still has that house. 45 years now. My grandma's had that house, and I mean, my family got houses all on the whole block, pretty much. And yeah, that's my roots, man.
Bro, you know what's crazy? So you went to Paseo.
Yeah.
He grew up on 37th and Wayne. I grew up on 32nd and Highland, bro.
Wow.
Like, I'm talking about we could throw a rock at each other's house, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think just that age difference may have shifted. Because how old are you?
I'm 36 now.
You're 36. Yeah. When was your birthday?
October 16th.
Okay. Yeah. And so I'm 40. I'll be 41 this year or whatever. So I think just that little age gap. You might have went to school with my brother, Juice. They call him.
Basketball?
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Okay, bet. So, and then Renil, that's my other brother. One day I'm gonna bring my brothers over here because I think that'll bring a different aspect of me to the show. You know what I mean? Man. So right down the street, 37th and Wayne. Hey, was it like, or what was it like? Sorry, I'm gonna paint the picture up to this point, right? So what was it like? What was little Petey like on 37th and Wayne?
Ooh, let me see. Man, I feel like, you know, life is so, it's so crazy because moving around a lot, I really noticed what little Petey is like. Like my lifestyle is different, and I think I was a lot different than the people I grew up with because I moved around so much, not around the city, but like from different cities. And growing up in Kansas City, man, it's a different type of lifestyle. And I noticed when I would move with my dad's people up to Jersey, like how different it was. So like on the block, man, it felt really like family oriented. Like my family was pretty much all on one side of the block, and the other end of the block was owned by my homeboy Gus, and it was all the Mexicans on the other side, other side of the block. But we all was family. Like, we all was family, Big Gus, Little Gus, and then my family all down on the other end. We used to run up and down the street with like, we used to, I remember me and my cousins used to run up and down the street, and we used to take our shirts off, so we'd be just running with no shoes on, take our shirts off, put it in the back of our pants, and we'd run up and down the street like we was horses. We say we was horses. That was our tail, you know. But man, we had a good life as kids, you know. We got into a lot of trouble too, as, you know, bad kids with not much guidance. We didn't have a lot of guidance, so, you know, the older we got, them younger years were beautiful, looking back on them, but the older we got, as we start getting to teenagers and start thinking about how we got to make a living, or looking at our parents and seeing what our parents are going through and wanting better for our parents and wanting better for ourselves and seeing things that we couldn't have, life started to shift a little bit because it became about, well, how can we go out and get that? And, you know, most times as younger kids, we couldn't go out and get jobs, so we was getting it by, you know, any means necessary, you know. So
two parent household?
Nah, I grew up with my mom, with just my mom. And I moved around a lot. I stayed at my grandma's house a lot.
Okay.
Even when my mom kind of moved away and she had her own house and stuff, I would always be with my grandma. I probably spent more time on the block than a lot of my other family members. But yeah, my mom, she did what she can by her, you know, raising me by herself. My mom the older I get, that too, like I feel like I'm like learning all this stuff, and it's like at this big age I'm just now coming to the realization of so many things, and I start to look at the relationship I have with my mom a lot these days. And you know, because I know people, I heard the story, like my mom left me at the hospital when I was a baby. Like that's how much she didn't want me. She didn't want no kids.
Wow.
I got my sister, who, you know, my sister is 15 years older than me.
Okay.
And that was the last kid she had, and then I came along 15 years later when my mom is 36, 37, and she like, I don't want another kid. She left me at the hospital. If it wasn't for her friend who came back and was like, no, we taking this kid, and came back and got me. And I didn't know that, of course, until a lot later in life, but I just look back on my relationship with my mom and how it's affected me as a person. Like I never was shown really a lot of affection as a kid either. And I'm just now starting to learn how that affects me in relationships. You know, I get into these relationships with women, and not even just with women, but how I interact with people and how I move throughout the world. Like I don't like being touched. Like even if I'm walking down and, you know, I'm in a place like New York where it's people graze you and rub up against you all the time, and every time it like sends charges through my body. Like I could really feel it when I'm being touched, and I don't know how people don't. Like you could be sitting under the table and your knee touch somebody, and I'm always like, how do they not know that their knee is touching mine? Like I notice it every time I'm being touched, you know what I mean? And that came from, I think a lot of that came from, I was never touched as a kid. Like I see people's relationship with their moms and like hugging and all the love, and I'm like, yeah, we didn't do that. My mom showed love in her own way, but I'm like, I don't remember ever in my life like touching my mama. I mean, the only time I remember touching my mom is when she died, because I found her body when she died, and I wouldn't let her go. They had to pry me off of her. But yeah, like growing up, I didn't really get a lot of affection. But you know, my mom, I look on it now and I'm like, man, I can only imagine the things that she was going through.
How long ago was that you found your mom's body?
That was in 2011. You
mind we talk about that?
No, not at all.
What exactly happened? I mean,
it was, so I think when my mom died, I'm pretty sure I was like 2 doors down. My sister stayed 2 doors down. We used to stay in Village Green, right off the sale.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my mom lived there for a while. And I was in a relationship. I had just broke up with this girl, And instead of moving back home, which is what my mama wanted, because my mama treated me like I was her man, you know, like I did everything for my mama. And she always called me for, can you go do this? Can you come pick up this? Can you fix this? Can you? So I was always there, and I'm like, all right, I've been out, you know, I've been out the house for a while, but I'm still always there. And I was like, I don't want to move back home. My mama already calling me all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to almost move home. I'm going to move 2 doors down to my sister's house. Yeah, so I moved in with my sister, and my mom, she would call me all the time. And I think about this a lot too, like how I used to always ignore my mom's phone calls. And it's like, now if I could only answer those calls, you know? But yeah, so what happened is, my grandma had called me. She kept calling like something's wrong. Your mom is not answering the phone. She always answers the phone for me. Usually about this time of day, we talk about our shows that we watch and all that stuff. And I'm like, is she fine? Like, you know, she all right. She probably out with one of her friends somewhere or something. And she like, go in there and check. So I'm like, all right. I go a couple doors down. I look in the house. I'm like, my mom ain't here. I call my grandma. My mama's not here. I don't know what, like, she probably is out somewhere. I'm like, when did she get her check? You know, she used to get her check every first of the month. You know what I mean? Yeah. Her little, what is it, Section 8 vouchers and whatever the checks they get to people. And I'm like, she always, when she got her check, she'd go get her nails done. She'd be out the house. She'd be doing stuff. So I'm like, she probably out somewhere. And then my grandma wouldn't let it go. She kept calling. She's called my sister. She called Tifa. Yeah. And she's like, something's not right. Something's not right. And the whole time I'm thinking, y'all overreacting. Yeah. Like, just chill. And then my sister my big sister who came and knocked on the door. I was staying with my little sister. My big sister came, knocked on the door. And she like, you need to come down here now. And then I'm like walking. I'm like, what's up? And then Tifa like yelling at me. She like, get over here now. So I come into the house. And I'm like, I noticed my sister, she comes in, she's sitting right, she plopped right on the couch and she's crying. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And then like my grandma's in there, she's crying and she's like, don't go up there. Cause I start moving towards the stairs. She's like, don't go up there, don't go. I'm like, what you mean don't go up there? Don't go up there. I run up the stairs. And the reason I didn't see my mama the first time I came in there, because she got this big bed in her room and she was on the side of it on the floor. So that first time I came in there, she had been there, but I just didn't see her because I just opened the door, looked in there, didn't see her. I'm like, she ain't there, you know? And yeah, I found her on the floor. She was folded like she used to sleep with, kind of like with her legs spread out and like her head between her legs. She was real flexible and she used to sleep like that. That's crazy. So it's probably one of those things where she was sleeping like that and you know, and passed away in her sleep, I'm guessing. But you know, I grew up, my mom had a drug problem for a lot of my life. My mom was, I won't say a lot of my life, a lot of my childhood, because she was clean for a long time, but I think she had an addictive personality. So even after she stopped some of those hard drugs, you know, they put you on the methadone and stuff, and then you become addicted to that. And then, you know, she had all these doctors that just toss pills at you. Like, she was on Xanax and Percocets and all that, and they writing prescriptions for that stuff. So she got addicted to those pills too, and she used to always have her pills. And I think it was a mixture of probably some of that actually led to her demise. You know, we never really got a final thing of what it was, but it was, I'm pretty sure it was a drug overdose that she suffered from. So, yeah.
That's rough, man. I appreciate you opening up, and I'm trying my best to fight back my tears, bro. Like, so my mom passed away in 2018, and I promise you, bro, that when you talk about just something as simple as you wish that your mom can call you, man. Yeah. There's been so many things that I've done in my life since 2018 that people ask me, like, what's your purpose, or what are you chasing after, or you know, you've done so much, you know, and I would say at the root of some of it is because of my mother, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
same, man.
I tell you,
my mom became my driving force. She became everything that I tell people all the time. I've done interviews before where I've touched on it, where I believe the only reason I am an actor and that I got into acting was because of my mom, and in her own way. You know, it sounds crazy, but I think she made the ultimate sacrifice, because I think if things wouldn't have happened the way they did with my mom's passing, I would have never got into acting.
Wow.
And so in her own way, she made that sacrifice for me to have a better life, because I was in a place, I was one of those people who, I was good at everything, so I did everything which means I never could find where I belonged, because I'm like, well, I could belong anywhere. So I did everything. Like, if they would have let me be a firefighter, I would have did that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I'm saying? My bad.
I was just, oh, you a firefighter?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
But I'm saying, like, I just was one of those people, like, I'm going to take whatever job that's going to make me some money, because I could thrive in any environment.
Right.
So I just always kind of did that, and I feel like I still would have been doing that. But after my mom passed, it led me down a path that started very dark. And then, man, at the end of that darkness was so much light.
Yeah.
So much light. And that light, a lot of that light is what brought me acting. Sometimes I got to be careful about that, though, because that's another thing I'm learning, too. Because I was in such a tough time in my life. And the thing that brought me out of it was acting. It's like one of the main things that brought me out of this darkness, because I was going crazy after my mom passed for about a year. And because that's the thing that I feel like I had this gaping hole, you know, and I feel like it was filled by acting. It's like that hole that my mom left. It was filled, not fully, but like there was a large portion of it that got filled by me finding my craft. And man, that gets tough when the craft ain't going the way you want it to. So that's what because it'll sometimes, I'm way better at it now, but it would just drive me back into a dark place when that thing that brought me out of the darkness is not going the way I want it to. So now I feel a similar feeling to when my mom passed. Like that same feeling creeps back in, and I start missing my mom a lot during those times because I start feeling empty. Yeah. So, you know, I've been working a lot lately on trying to find healthy ways to fill all those holes in me. With not just because, man, this craft, this career, like acting is so up and down, you know, and you can't make it your everything as much as you have to make it your everything. It can't be your everything at the same time because you might go 6 months or a year without booking a job. And, you know, you got to find something to sustain yourself. I ain't even talking about financially. I mean, to fill your spirit. Yeah. You got to find something that'll do that in the downtime. You know,
that's good. Hey, so let me ask you this: what do you feel about therapy, and more importantly, have you sought therapy for some of those holes that you're trying to fill?
Yeah, man, I got mixed feelings about therapy. The first time that's not the first time. The first time I stuck with a therapist is when I lived in London. I had a therapist there who I stuck with for pretty much almost the whole time I was out there, for like a year almost. But before that, I had tried a lot of different therapists. I got my undergrad at UMKC. I did their program there, and I talked to the lady like 2 times, and I was like, all right, this is cool, but like, I think it wasn't consistent enough for me because I find with therapy a lot of times, if you're not paying the big bucks to have a personal therapist, you kind of get pushed around a bunch to different therapists. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to keep telling my story all over again to all these different people. I don't like telling it in the first place. But now I have to keep, every time you're like, oh, I can't be in this week, so this person's going to be in. And it's like, all right. So, and I found that not even with just UMKC, but a lot of these different programs I was going to was similar to that. So I just got kind of like, I'm like, it's cool, but like, I ain't doing nothing but just talking a bunch. And I guess it's nice to be able to talk about the stuff, but it wasn't until I moved to London. And I had a guy there who talked to me about mental health all the time. And I was kind of breaking down. My mom that had crept back in when I moved to London, because it was the first time in my life that I could remember that I cried happy tears. I moved to London, and I walked into my flat, or my apartment, that's what they call them there, the flats. I walked into my flat, and I just stood there at the door, looking at my couch, looking at the kitchen, looking at everything in there, all this beautiful view. I'm like downtown, large windows. And I start crying, like with a smile on my face, thinking about my mama and how proud she would be that I made it to this moment, that I got here. You know, a lot of people think that the biggest thing I've done as an actor is being on Power. But for me, it's when I was working in London. I worked on the Globe stage, Shakespeare's Globe. You know, I was doing Shakespeare in London. And that, to me, I'm like, you know how many greats, how many legends have come through this stage and worked on this stage? And it feels magical even when you're standing on that stage. But yeah, I walked into that flat and I cried. I cried happy tears for the first time. And it was weird because those happy tears, I'm smiling and my face just changed, and they changed to sad tears. And I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to deal with my mom not being there to be able to see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And not being as connected to my grandmother at the time too, because my grandmother raised me a lot more than my mom, but my grandmother, she was suffering from dementia. I just lost her last year.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But she had been suffering for a while. When they diagnosed her, at first said it was like, we thought it was going to be a year. They told her she didn't have that much time. She lived like 4 years after that, you know. So, but you could definitely tell it was a different person, which I got mixed feelings about that too, because I think I detached more than a lot of my family.
Yeah. Because
I felt like my grandmother had been gone a long time before her body passed. So I had already detached, kind of, and I be beating myself up about that because I'm like, I should have spent more of those moments, but I just was like, that's not my grandma. Like, my grandma ain't there no more. Sometimes she don't know who I am, you know. Sometimes she do, but a lot of times she don't. But anyways, yeah. So back to the therapy thing. I had this therapist. It was a guy, Dr. Popolyuk. It's a foreign dude, and I started meeting with him on the regular.
Yeah.
And it started off 3 times a week, moved to twice a week, then moved to once a week in person, once a week on Zoom. And it was the first time I had started having breakthroughs. It was also the first time I had a male therapist. And I started having breakthroughs, and he brought me the idea of medication. And I always was against medicine because of my mom. So I never did pills and stuff. But it was, man, I don't know if he was just good at, he finessed me into it, man. And it made me feel comfortable to where I'm like, all right, I'll try the antidepressants. Like, I'll see what it's like. And I did. After a while doing therapy, I got on antidepressants, and they worked. They worked, but they worked too well, which is why I decided to stop taking them, because as an actor, they just kind of made me numb. Like, I wasn't too high or too low. Like, I didn't have high highs of emotion, but I never had real low lows of emotion either. I just was kind of cool all the time. Like, I always just kind of felt all right.
Yeah.
You know? So, which I'm like, that is a good thing, you know? Like, I'm never, you know. But as an actor, I need to have that. I got to have those high highs. I need to experience those in life so I can translate, or I can, you know, in my mind, figure out how to translate that on a stage or on a screen. I need to experience the highs and the lows of life. So when I moved back to the States, I got off the antidepressants, and one of the main reasons I was taking them too, I think that was appealing to me, is that I had problems eating and sleeping. Okay. And the antidepressant that I was taking, it helped me eat and it helped me sleep. So I was able to gain a lot of weight. I was able to sleep more, but you know, a side effect was that I just was kind of existing, you know. But I thought that the therapy itself, so important. I think I've tried it a bunch of times since leaving London, and I have not had good experiences so far. I've had no bad experiences. None of them were bad, but I just haven't had really good experiences where I want to keep going and just talking about my life and my business. I was telling you earlier, I don't even like telling my business to everybody anyway. So to sit there and talk to a white woman, which is who it is most of these times when I find these therapy places, I don't want to just sit there and tell this white woman, and they nice enough, they so nice, so sweet, but I'm just like, maybe I'd feel better even if it was a black woman. I love black women in positions of, like, I like black women doctors, I like black women teachers, because I feel my favorite directors working in this industry, black women are the best directors in this industry from my experience. Like, every time I work with a black woman, I could tell the difference. It's different, you know?
Why? What's different about it? Help me understand, because I'm not an actor. So
they pay attention to detail, for one.
Okay.
They gonna pay, just like, you know how they always say, like, black women are detectives and they can find out stuff. They use that in every craft that they are in. You know what I'm saying? Black women, they gonna find every little thing in that scene. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and every
sir.
little thing, and they have a way of speaking to, I think especially us as black men and you know, and black people in general, like, they have a way of being able to speak to us. That they can bring things out without directly being like, do this. You know what I mean? They have the power to evoke, I think. And we all know that from, you know, being around black women. They have the power to evoke, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whether it's, you know?
Yes, sir.
So I think they bring that even to the directing, man. Like, I've had, every time I work with a black woman, I'm like, because it's not that often where you leave a performance and you're like, I killed that. I know I killed that.
Right.
You know, but I feel like the times I've worked with black women, I get close and I'm like, all right, that was some of my best work that I done right there.
Hey, we talking about best work. I'm about to jump right in, bro. Okay. Your best work. Holla at me about Toya.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Listen,
Man.
let me see. Let me just in case if she watches this, we gotta say
She probably skim through, especially if we saying her name now.
that is a beautiful black woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Please tell me what. First off, hold on. Now go ahead. What was it like working with her?
Toya, I would not be the actor that I am if it wasn't for Toya. She taught me so much because Power was my first job working on TV. In that capacity and anything like that big, right? And Toya's the person I spent the most time with. And even when I first got on set, she showed nothing but love and made me feel comfortable because it's different when you like coming from where I come from to be sitting there and I'm shaking hands talking to Lorenz Tate, Mary J. Blige is walking past me. I'm on a Zoom with Method Man. You know what I mean? Like crazy. All this, I'm like, this is wild. So I get there and man, imposter syndrome is crazy. Like I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. Like, I think they made a mistake. Like somebody messed up and I slipped through the cracks. And Toya was the one, she always reassured me, like, and she even would tell me stuff like that straight up, like, you here for a reason, like, they chose you for a reason. But, man, from the very beginning, she showed me nothing but love. She made me come out of my shell more because it could take me a while sometimes. And, like, once I'm out of my shell, boom, I hit the ground running.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm a slow burn, and I feel like that I was like that with Power. And I go back and watch it now, and I'm like, man, even the first, like, 3 epipisodes, I could tell.
That you were still kind of reserved.
I still had them nerves. I still wasn't going to the full extent of what I can do. And I'm like, it was because I was still there nervous, man. And Toya, very early on, she invited me to like one of her birthday dinners. Very early on in shooting, we went to a dinner, like a private event. And this, I don't even know, was it even her birthday? It was a private dinner.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those like secret cave with the secret walls and stuff like that. So it was a bunch of the cast and stuff. And it was the first time that I got to hang with a bunch of the cast outside of us filming. And that's what it takes. That's what it's about when you filming a show like this. Like I've learned since then that the best way to create that chemistry and to create something that looks beautiful on camera is that like these actors got to be comfortable with each other outside of the camera. You know what I mean? It don't have to be that way because some actors just got that. They can turn it on and off like that. But I've noticed in a lot of situations that when you get to know that actor, that person that you're sitting across from before, even just a little conversation, it's easier to drop into something once that camera starts rolling. And that's what Toya created for me, man. And she's like a sister to me, you know, for real. And she was heaven sent when I first started that show, man.
Man. Hey, shout out to Toya.
Yeah, shout out to Toya.
You know what I'm saying? We just had to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
100%.
y'all was doing some really good work, man. And that's in all seriousness, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm super proud of you, bro.
Yeah,
I know we're talking about your journey and we're going to talk about the whole thing, but I just have to say to you that to hear the humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And then to know that you made it onto that platform, that's a beautiful thing. That I think that there's a lot of people even going to Paseo now where it was a true art school when we were there.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, you had to audition to get in. You had to say I wanted to be an actor or whatever it was that you wanted to do, right? And there was a possibility that you wouldn't make it in because
a lot of my friends didn't.
You see what I'm saying? And so I pray that Paseo brings that back because we've been able to create some really good people coming out of that school because we took the art seriously, including you, bro. Yeah. Including you. Do you feel like there were things that you learned while attending Paseo that you carry with you to this day?
So many things, not necessarily all that have to do with my career and stuff, but I learned, high school is a time. I learned a lot about myself and relationships at Paseo. I learned a lot. So the crazy thing is, when I went to Paseo, I wasn't an actor.
Okay.
I didn't go to Paseo for acting. I was a creative writing major.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why, I started off.
What's his name? Mr. Odom.
Yeah, Mr. Odom.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Odom, man.
Yeah, Mr. Odom, who I thought hated me at first. Now we like this. I still talk to him every now and then and stuff. Right. Me and Odom cool.
Yeah.
But I thought he hated me because he pushed me. so much, like when I was there, and you know, he saw something in me that I think I didn't even see. But yeah, man, I was a creative writing major, which is why I did music. Like before I ever did any acting and stuff, I was rapping.
Yeah.
And that just came straight out of, like, I was always writing. I loved writing. I loved writing raps, writing short stories, anything, you know what I mean? And so yeah, that's what I did when I was there. We used to battle in the hallways. That was my fondest memories of Paseo. It's like, you see those battles on TV, you see that used to be us in the lunchroom at Paseo. Like,
shut up,
yeah,
bro.
and we had this professor, Mr. Woods, man. Shout out to Mr. Woods.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Woods would host battles in his class. You know,
Man, y'all supposed to be in there working.
supposed to be in there. Hey, but it's creative writing. We writing them raps. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and he would host, and like we would get in trouble because he would get in trouble because it'd be so many people from other classes. Everybody wanted to be in there when he would host these battles.
Yeah.
In the class, man. And it if anything, the main thing that being at Paseo helped me with as far as acting, like it helped me with performance and stage presence. Even though I wasn't an actor there, I did so much performing through rapping. I did a lot of rapping. I danced while I was at Paseo. You know, you at Paseo, you do a little bit of everything.
Right,
You know, we had Showtime there, who was always dancing at the you know, at our pep rallies and stuff. You know, and I wanted to get in there too. I'm like, hey man, I could. You know what I'm saying? So it made me comfortable with performing. But also learned that's why I also had such a block, because I'm like, I thought I knew everything. I'm like, I know how to perform. I know how to get on the stage and rock a crowd. I know how to make people feel things out there, but acting is different. It's very different because it's a little more, it's more personal, and you have to be vulnerable. I don't have to do that when I'm rocking the stage. Yeah. I put on a whole different, it's like I put up a wall right there and I'm in a zone. These people don't know who I am. I created this character. Who is this rapper that I created, that it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm really clever with words, and I could move back and forth. I don't have to be, you know. And then what I learned though, even my favorite like actors or rappers are the ones who mix both of that. You know what I'm saying? Mix those two things together, like to be able to be vulnerable, to be personable, and rock a crowd. Yeah. And give you some dope lyrics.
Give us examples. Top three. Who comes to mind?
Top three performers?
Yeah.
Tech, number one.
Okay. Which is crazy that of all the performers that he could have said, he said Tech, Kansas City's own. I think that's dope. Keep going.
Yeah, Tech 9 is, and maybe I'm biased. Yeah. And I don't even necessarily think I'm biased because I'm from Kansas City. I think I'm biased because I saw a lot of Tech's work when I was young and coming up, so I've probably been to more Tech concerts than anything else, but I've been to a lot of concerts, and I've never seen anybody rock a stage the way Tech does. Yeah. I've never seen anyone bring people in and just move a crowd the way Tech does. Yeah. You know? But that's good. I love Tech 9. I love I went and saw, who did I see that it was a dope concert? It was J. Cole. J. Cole's one of my favorite rappers.
Hey, J. Cole he's cold.
Yeah. Cole is one of my favorite rappers, and he really has, he actually, so I think can't nobody rock a stage like Tech, but that more like that personal thing, Cole is real good at that. Yeah. He's real good at talking to a crowd and making you feel like family and making you feel like, yeah, I brought you here. I want you to be here. Like you're here. We're in this together. Like Cole is real good at that. You know what I mean?
Hey, his lyrics is so cold to me, man. Like and you know what? I like the humility that he presents. No matter what stage of life he's at, right? I think to be able to see this man, he'd be dressed the same way we dressed.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think that there's a level of humility that goes into making sure that you stay grounded. And I don't know, let me ask you that question. Who are those people around you that no matter what stage you've been on, whether it's been Power, whether it's been in London or some of these other shows that you've done, right? Who's that person or those people, group of people that keep you grounded?
That keep me grounded? My homeboy, who is like one of my best friends, and our whole circle. We have a production company together where we produce our own films and stuff. But my homeboy Maxime, man, he does a really good job at like being like, all right, this is where we at. This is where we want to go. This is what we need to do. I treat my friends like family, man, because they really have become my family. Because it's hard for me because I move around so much, so I don't have my family there with me when I'm moving. Like, you know, it was when I was in Kansas City, my family kept me grounded. They always kept me on my toes. Actually, that's the opposite of grounded, because my family, they didn't keep me grounded, but they kept me in it. They kept me present. They kept me present. They kept me fighting. They kept me grinding. But yeah, my homeboy Maxime, Walker, Rob, we got a production company. Like, they really keep me grounded, and my brothers, man, my family do still keep me grounded. Like my brother Joe, he always, more than anybody, he's the person I can talk to when I'm feeling the craziest in my life. I know I could talk to Joe, and he's gonna feel like he's feeling the craziest in his life too, because for some reason it always happened at the same time with us, and then we're both able to be like, yeah, man, but this is just part of our journey. You know, we come into the conversation being like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know, like, everything is so hard, all this. And then by the end of it, we're both like, man, it's just part of the journey, man. Like, we on our way. We still on our way. You know, we ain't too old. I just had a conversation with him last week, how we was saying like, yeah, man, we starting to think we too old and we shouldn't be going through certain stuff, and we shouldn't be doing certain things because we too old for that. But like, who made that up? We did. Or we listening to what other people saying, like, you're never too old. You're never too old to start that thing. I know we hear people say stuff like that all the time, but, you know, I'm like, at this old age, man, I shouldn't be going through this thing.
Yeah.
Says who?
Right.
Who said I shouldn't be going through that? Like, it's all a part of the journey. Right. And that just means maybe if I'm starting it at an older age, I got a longer journey. You know? So
let me ask you this. You talked about your mom and how difficult that was. Yeah. And you also talked about the inconsistencies of acting, right? And I hear you talk about that you move around a lot. A big part of my audience is the young people, right? And they're watching this to be able to say, I want to be the next Petey, right? And so is that a necessary part of acting going into, you know what I mean? Is that a part of it where you're having to move around the way you did? Do you feel like that's helped, or tell me more about that?
It is and it isn't. I tell people all the time that ask me about being an actor, people who live in Kansas City, they ask me all the time. And to be honest, like, we don't have the market in Kansas City yet. I still think it's coming. I do think it's coming, but I think as of right now, we don't have that market here for you to really be able to make a living and be in Kansas City and doing all your work in Kansas City. You can still live in Kansas City as an actor, but you are going to have to travel a bunch. You know, you might do a job where you're on set for a month. You might, you know, be for 3 months. And you can have your home base here, but you're going to have to travel. But starting off, it's harder to even do that. You know, like, it's harder to get those jobs. So it can be conducive to your career if you live in a bigger market where there are more things happening all the time, because you can stumble upon something accidentally, you know, living in New York, living in Atlanta, living in LA, living in Chicago, living in places like that. You can accidentally stumble upon something by doing the work and going to classes and get, you know, you meet a person, you know, you take a acting class in any of those bigger cities that have these bigger, but they have a bigger market of teachers too. Like, you know, they have more notable teachers or more connected teachers or just teachers who have, you know, who learn more craft, you know, stuff like that. Like, we don't have that. Nothing against the people. They have some studios here in Kansas City that are teaching acting. And I have not been to any of them, so I won't make any judgments on them. But I just feel like even the connections that those teachers and studios have to, like, what are they connected to? Like, as an actor, our business is all about connecting. Your network, how are you connected? You hear it all the time. Sometimes it is who you know. You know? And then your talent will carry you, but you got to get there first. You know. So I think it does help if you're in a bigger market. Yeah. You can do it from Kansas City. It's a lot harder. Yeah. I think Kansas City has the most talent I've ever seen behind the camera, which is a shame because the actors don't stay. We can make the most beautiful movies here because, man, the crews in Kansas City are elite. Yeah. But they don't have a good pool of actors to come from. Yeah. You know, and they have a lot of dope actors here, but it ends up being like, you'll see even locally a lot of the same actors acting and stuff because there's not a lot of actors. Or you'll just see films that, like, the film could be better if there might have been a better actor in it. Yeah. But it looks beautiful. Right. You know? But all the actors end up leaving Kansas City because you can't really make a living as an actor being in Kansas City. And I mean, you could do theater, but the theaters don't pay enough. There's a couple theaters that pay really well, like 2 or 3 theaters that pay really well in Kansas City. But other than that, if you taking that job, you got another job paying you. If you taking the theater, most of the theater jobs in Kansas City, if you taking those jobs, you most likely have another job or another source of income, because you can't just do that and live off that. It's not enough money.
Yeah.
So it's hard as an actor in Kansas City, versus, because those same problems exist in those bigger markets too.
Okay.
But just think about it. If they exist in the markets where all that stuff is, think about how much harder it is in Kansas City trying to do that. So
who was that person that opened the door for you to be able to experience what you've experienced? Who was that mentor for you?
Man, mentors. All right, so it's a couple of people who, not all of them mentors, but definitely people who have opened the door for me. But mentors, I had a professor, Scott Stackhouse, when I went to UMKC. He's the one who basically when I first went to UMKC, I just wanted to sit in the background, kind of get a degree. I was still doing music. I was like, I'm selling my CDs. This is when CDs were a thing.
Right.
I'm gonna sell my CDs on campus. And I'm gonna just rock out. I'm gonna grind that way and get my little theater degree, sit in the back of the class until I get that. I just wanted the piece of paper. Because I went to college for my mom. Like, that was the whole reason I went to school. I didn't know I wanted to go for acting until I got there and was flipping through the book. And I said, I'm gonna do acting. That sounds easy. I just want the degree so I could be like, Mama, I did it. I did it, Mama. And I had this professor, Scott Stackhouse, who was like, you're an acting major, theater major. Like, what are you doing? You're just gonna not do anything the whole time you're here? And I was like, I'm just learning, And he like, nah, you're gonna audition for plays. We're gonna, like, you declared acting for a reason. That's what you put as your major. I didn't tell you to do that. You chose that. Let's get you to audition, man. Like, audition for some of these plays. Here, recommended some plays for me to read. I fell in love with August Wilson at that point. And I started auditioning. I started doing plays, and the rest is history. I fell in love with acting because of Scott Stackhouse. Shakespeare, even. I was so scared of Shakespeare. Man, he opened up Shakespeare for me. And so Scott Stackhouse definitely was one of my mentors who kind of pushed me through. Similar thing when I was in grad school. I went to Rutgers for grad school in Jersey, and I had Kevin Kittle, who was that raw, unfiltered, like, professor who pushed me, and it pushed me to a very uncomfortable place. But I needed that as an actor. Like, I'm telling you, man, I remember that first year of grad school, I would go outside. I remember one time in particular, I saw this bird dying outside. I'm walking past it, and I start crying. And I was never like that. If you ask any of my family, anybody who know me, I'm the most emotionless person you meet. I don't cry for anything. But that first year of grad school, I was so raw. Like, everything was but it was because I was being pushed to my limits. But I had to be, to break through that top. So Kevin Kittle, for sure. And then TV and film, man, not really a mentor, but somebody who really opened the door for me. And I feel like I got a lot of the opportunities that I got because of this person, was Morgan Cooper, who was from Kansas City.
There it is.
Morgan Cooper, man, I learned a lot from him because I was a theater actor, straight up theater actor, and Morgan is how I really got into TV and film. It was the first film I had done a bunch of like student films for film students at UMKC and stuff. And the thing about doing student films is, like, you spend so much time, you do this film, and then you never see it. They never come out with it. They never finish it. You just never see it. And it's like, I'm only agreeing to do this so I can have footage for a reel, and I don't even get that. But so I did a bunch of that, and the first film that I actually ever did was You Shoot Videos with Morgan Cooper. And that was the first time I've had similar feelings to that experience. Power was one of them. It felt similar to doing You Shoot Videos. And this was just locally in Kansas City. I used to come home for the summers every summer. Because I was this is when I was in grad school. Yeah. And one of them summers, we did You Shoot Videos. And I think it was the last summer before I went. It was right before I went to London. Yeah. And we did You Shoot Videos, and I learned so much. And it was the first time I felt like a celebrity, like on a set. Like I walked in, and I'm like, yo, bro, whatever I could do. I'm like, hey, you want me to pick up this case of waters? And Morgan like, no. You don't touch nothing. You sit over there in your chair and you be an actor. Like, you don't have to worry about any of this other stuff. And everybody kind of treated me like that, which was weird for me. I'm like, man, I'm trying to be helpful. Like, I want to, like, we can all make this thing together, because I'm used to doing more small things where we all work together. But it was the first time it was like, no, you're talent. You know, in the business, we call it talent. Talent don't, you do all the things that talent's supposed to do. Sit over there and read your lines or something. Like, memorize your lines. Like, do, you know? Yeah. And it was the first time I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool, you know? All right. I'm rocking with it. And then, you know, I learned so much from Morgan's vibe. I've never been, to this day, never been on a set it breaks my heart, because a lot of people didn't have the same experience I did on that set, which I didn't hear until way after. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that was happening with people, disgruntled, you know, people who have worked with Morgan, and I couldn't believe it. I was baffled. I'm like, man, that was one of the best experiences of my entire life. And a lot of it came directly from Morgan, is the reason why I had such a good experience. Like, Morgan used to say something that I stole from him and I've adopted myself, is he used to come on and he used to always look me right in my eyes and say, how's your spirit? Yeah. And the first time he said it to me, I was like, my spirit? Like, how's my spirit? What? Like, let me think about that. Like, you know? Right. But now I do that same thing because of how that hit me. It makes people, it's like, nah, I'm really here with you. How's your spirit? Because if your spirit ain't right, then what are we doing? You know? But yeah, that's just the type of vibe. If anything can sum up Morgan to me, it was that. How's your spirit? Because that's how he always treated me, with love, and he showed care. He paid attention, you know what I mean? So it was beautiful. And I learned so much. And even when I direct my own stuff, I want to be more like what Morgan created for me that first time I was ever on a set, you know, because when you do get to TV and film, it ain't like that. You get the feeling, that star power feeling, for sure. You on this big set. That was the first time I was on a big set. That's what I mean, similar feelings, where it's the first time it's like lights, cameras, like all these, it's probably $30 million worth of equipment around me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and all these people, it's, you know, 100 people. And, you know, You Shoot Videos was the first time I experienced a big set like that. And when you move to TV, yes, that big set is there, but you don't get people paying attention and people who care the way Morgan showed care, and the way Morgan ran through stuff with you, and the way he paid attention. Like, you get on the big set, it's like, nah, you here to do a job. You got your lines, cool. Stand in this spot, do them. Do your lines. All right, cool. Y'all mark that. Mark where they're gonna be. All right, y'all got about 20 minutes while we move the cameras into place, and then we gonna run it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get a lot of rehearsal. You don't get, and I get it, because it's a independent film. You get more, you do have more time to do that. Them big budgets, they like, we on a crunch. We have a schedule to stick to. And sometimes you find that the directors, they care more about the big picture, because they hired you for a reason. They expect you to already have your job done. So they don't need to go through all the fine details of you doing your job. That's on you. They want to make sure you look good while doing it, and that everything looks good while doing it. That's not always the case, because the black women, that's what I mean. Black women, they want to make you look good, but they gonna run through that with you too. They gonna run through all of that. They gonna hit every beat. They gonna make sure you understand. They gonna go through it with you, even if you don't understand it the way that they do. They want to give you something before you get into it. It's not like just diving into the water without your safety jacket on, which sometimes it can feel like. Yeah. You know, we gotta talk. Sure, you know, we gotta talk about a couple things, man, because you threw a lot of gems out there, and what I want to talk to the young people by way of Petey's story is this. This is we've heard this multiple times, that he said, I did not have a desire to act. That was not my first reason for going to college. He said it was by way of somebody else's involvement in my life that I was able to pursue something that now we recognize him for. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is that don't forsake, if you're an adult, don't forsake your ability to be able to speak life into the young people of this community. That's the first thing. And then the young people, don't forsake the mentorship or the invaluable lessons that those that precede you in life that can be able to give you something that maybe you can't see yourself. Yes. So we have to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge something else on that same point, while you're saying that, to the more seasoned ones and the older ones, like, don't forget how you can influence the next person. Like, don't, like, everything you do or say can affect somebody in a certain way. So it's more than just that the cliche of being kind to people. It's and the cliche of treat people how you want to be treated, which is what I was about to say, but it's deeper than that. Even it's deeper than treating people how you want to be treated. It's the same way, like, some people, when you're in a position, when you're in certain positions, people will hang on to every word you say, and sometimes we forget that gives us a certain responsibility. Right? So we have to know that responsibility, and we have to sometimes reach down. You know, we got to reach down and give those words and have those conversations. I try as much as I can. Sometimes I do get really busy and inbox be flooded and all that stuff, but you know, I'm always trying to make sure that I make people feel that, like, they're important, because you never know what that one thing you say to somebody, or just a little bit of attention that you show to somebody, could change the trajectory of their life.
Amen.
Right? Like, Morgan didn't
good.
know saying how's your spirit was going to change the trajectory of my life.
Right.
And it was that simple thing. Like, that was a big part of what, like, you never know. So, you know, it's a lot of times we in positions, like, even you know, we forget, you know, because we've been through the things, we've done all the things to get to where we are in our lives.
Right.
And we forget that, like, man, there's people looking up to us who we don't even know.
Amen.
We might be walking past somebody and it's just a simple thing that we could say to change somebody's whole day.
Yeah.
Change their whole day, make them feel better. They might have been in a bad mood, and just you giving them one little word.
Yeah.
You know, looking them in the eye.
Right.
Little things like that, man, because it's invaluable. It really is.
We got to hit something else too, and I only try my best to speak on what I know. So I'm gonna just talk about maybe the fire department, but if you can find relation to it, then use it however you please. One thing that I could say in being a firefighter, I'm a chief now with the fire department for the last 17 years that I've been doing this job, is this. People will try to preload you with information about someone else. You talked about relationships and how Morgan, how other people told you about how he would be with you, potentially robbing you of a genuine experience.
Right.
I don't understand why or how it happens, but I just want to caution leaders that if you are in the position of power or in the position of leadership, why does somebody have to preload you with information about somebody else? Obviously, you've done the work to become a driver, a captain, a chief, or whatever it is that God has extended leadership to you in whatever capacity it is. So why do we perpetuate this cycle of negativity, right? My thing is that I can't wait for the day, not only just within the fire department, but within society, the new age mind that says that I don't need that information. I can formulate my own opinion about so-and-so. I don't need you to tell me anything, right? Because I want to make sure that I give that individual an honest chance for success.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I could really appreciate that when you talk about that. So Mr. Morgan, he was a mentor to you. My question to you is that who are you being a mentor to in paving the way for somebody else to get to where you are?
Ooh, okay. I try to be a mentor to every young actor who I come across. I do get a lot of inboxes, and I try to answer them. I know I don't answer them all. I know I don't, but you never know. Next year I might answer it. I really do random stuff like that. I got inboxes from 7-8 months ago that sometimes, when I do have downtime or I'm bored or I ain't doing, I'll scroll through my message, it go into a separate folder and everything. I'll go into those hidden messages and start scrolling. I get a lot of hate mail and all kind of weird, not even just hate mail, women. This girl just the other day told me I look like her toxic baby daddy. She said, "You so sexy. You remind me of my toxic baby daddy, but in a good way." Like, that's the type of messages I get. And that's why I kind of ignore them a lot, because I get a lot of that. Or I get man, Salim, you weak ass. I get all that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't go, I try to, a lot of times I won't go through it. But then every once in a while, I'll just be like, all right, I'm bored. I'm going to just start deleting some of these messages, because sometimes I get anxiety looking at all of them. So,
yeah.
And I'll see messages that people send me, and it'll be 7-8 months later.
Yeah.
I'll read a long message from a young actor asking me how to get their started acting, or, you know, some of the same things we touched on today. And I send long, detailed messages back.
Yeah.
I sent a long, detailed message. I might not send another one after that initial one, but I'm going to send you this long message telling you my experience, because and that's what I make sure to tell everybody, is that, like, my experience probably isn't, it's not, I know it's not going to be yours because I'm a different person than you are.
Yeah, that's
but
good.
all I could do is give you my experience, and you can take whatever tidbits from that are helpful to you. So
Yeah.
I always kind of run that. And I try to be a mentor, man, to every young actor that I come across. I try to lead by example. That's one of the reasons that I don't like being public facing a lot of times, like personally. Like, I like being on screen acting because it's not me.
Right.
Sometimes when I'm myself talking, I'm like, damn, I got a responsibility. There's certain stuff I can't say because I am a mentor to some people, because some people do look up to me. And I know I could say stuff that ain't, you know, that's not mentor like, you know, a lot.
Right.
But even that, though, the good and the bad, like, I'm learning that, like, I have to be able to be authentically me, because even the bad stuff that I feel like is not mentor, like, somebody could be learning from those things too. You know,
Yeah.
even if it's what not to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I try with young actors. I'm always I just did a thing in Dallas where I was working with some young actors who are going through an acting program there, and I talked to a bunch of them, and now they all kind of inbox me and stuff and be asking me questions. And I always tell people, like, you know, once I talk to these young actors, I'm like, well, you got me now as part of your network.
Yeah.
So use it. Like,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to use it. Hit me up anytime, and my friends tell me I need to stop doing it because I give everybody my number. Because I meet random people all the time, and I just give out my phone number, and they like, bro, you can't do that anymore. You can't just be giving your number to people, like, and then you wonder why you get these weird. Some of them do be weird, and then they texting you and stuff. It's like, you wonder why. It's like, man, but I just wanted to let that person know, like, nah, I really rock with you, at least from this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I really rock with you, and I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm part of your network. You a part of mine now. You know, I'm gonna hit you up. You're gonna hit me up, because you never know. It could be 2 years down the line that I'm like, oh, what was that one dude that I met at that bar? Oh, I think I got his number in my phone. Boom, I'm hitting you up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I try as much as I can to be a mentor to anyone I come across, man.
I'll say this, two things. You mentioned it earlier, and I just want to take it back to scripture just for a second. The Bible says that your gifts will make room for you. There's no linear pathway to that thing, right? Mm-hmm. When you talk about your gifts, and then you think about the scripture that talk about that God said, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Mm-hmm. My ways are higher than your ways, right? And so when you say your gifts will make room for you, this podcast, let's be clear, this podcast started in a barbershop during COVID. Mm. This was not a podcast. This was a I was having a conversation with my barber at the time, and we felt like there were other men that could benefit from the genuine conversation that we were having because of the lockdown of our city, right? And so we opened up the door for men to be able to come in and get fed, right? Mm. And 75 men showed up the very first session.
Lessons.
What it showed me was that men really need an outlet. Mm-hmm. No matter what the weight of the world that we may carry, everybody needs somebody to be able to turn to.
Yeah.
And that's what it's more so about. Another thing that I was going to talk to you about is that when you talk about your gifts making room for you, and then you talk about being able to bring things back to where you started. Yeah. Right? Mentorship, all mm-hmm. of those things, right? So that brings us to the premier state line. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And being able to, I know you said that normally you don't have, or there was not a market for things here, but I noticed that you came back to be in this film mm-hmm. with State Line. Talk to us about how did that start?
Yeah. Shout out to Chuck, man, Chuck Brown, who I've been paying attention for a long time to Chuck and the things that he's doing. Yeah. And I know Chuck does good work, and I've always been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work with Chuck one day. And I knew he hit me up. Basically, which usually the way it goes is so hard for me to do a film sometimes these days because agents, managers, teams, all this stuff makes it harder. But we are going through a time right now in the industry where everything is really slow, and I still have to be fed as an artist, not financially too.
Yeah.
but that's not what I mean. Like, I have to be fed as an artist. Like, we just want to work. Like, actors want to act, you know, like fighters want to fight,
Yeah.
rappers want to rap.
Yeah.
You know, firefighters want to fight fires.
I'm trying to
you know
tell
what I'm
you.
saying? Like, so I'm in a place right now. It's like, man, I just want to act.
Yeah.
And I was presented with this wonderful opportunity by Chuck. And after we kind of ironed out the details, which I even told him, like, you know, I'm not worried about like any pay for real. I'm like, really, the pay that I want is like the cost of getting me there and me being able to go out and buy myself some meals and stuff while I'm there. Like, I'm doing it for the love, because I want to be able to come back home and do work.
Yeah.
And I want to do it more often, and I plan to do it more often. I think Kansas City is really about to open up in a different way because of the tax incentives and everything. But I just wanted to be home and do work, and I wanted to work with Chuck already. I knew he did good work, so I'm like, it's a perfect opportunity for me to be able to come home. So we ironed out all the details. And yeah, we came and we shot a movie. We did some rehearsals, and I think I want to say we did like a day of rehearsals, maybe 2, and I think we shot the movie all in one day.
I love it. What was it like being on scene with Hubie and Deja and some of those other?
Yeah, man. Hubie is hilarious. I'm just tell you right now, Gerald. He's hilarious, man. It was really cool to do because of it's so Kansas City.
Straight
you know
up.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was nice to be brought back to my roots, you know, because sometimes you get into the industry and you start feeling kind of pretentious because the industry kind of is molded that way, or it molds you that way, and it's set up that way for you to kind of become that. And so I always have to remember to humble myself. So it's good to be back in Kansas City in a place where I'm doing the same type of work that like, the work is not that different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm stepping down by coming to Kansas City and doing work. Like, nah, I'm doing work on the same level that I'm doing a lot of that big stuff on. I'm just doing it here in this market that people don't realize that we have this talent here.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see that and be like, man, all this talent in Kansas City, that's right. I'll be forgetting.
Yeah.
I'll be forgetting how much talent is here. And it was nice to be, you know, like, the chemistry on set was really cool between the three of us. Because and that was just like 3 days of, I guess we knew each other for about a month or 2 before we started filming, because we was doing Zoom rehearsals, because I was still in New York and we was rehearsing over Zoom before we made the film. So by the time we got here, it's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's that chemistry that we already got to build, because we got to sit on that Zoom, meet each other ahead of time, really get to know each other. So by the time we on set, we feel like family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was easy, and the chemistry was there. So many Kansas City references. Yeah. So much, like, you know, I was mad that I had to play somebody from Kansas, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Nah, nothing against Kansas. Yeah. I'm just from Missouri, so
yeah.
So everything against Kansas. But nah, I kid. Nah, so a lot of my really good homies are from Kansas. I sound like one of them white people. Like, my best friend is black.
I love it, bro.
Nah. I really do. I mess with Kansas too, though. I mess with everything that is the Kansas City metropolitan, because we are all one. I still would have rather played somebody from Missouri, though, because I'm Missouri till I die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we joked about that a lot, even on set, you know. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even get a lot of these Kansas references as much, because not only am I not from Kansas, I'm not one of them Missouri people who went over there a lot either. Right. So I'm like, I don't know that much about KCK. Like, I know a few food spots, because that's the only reason I went over there. And back in the day, I used to praise dance. I used to do mom dancing. Okay. And a few of the churches that our mom dad was over in KCK. So like, beyond that, I don't know nothing about KCK. I know there's a street called Parallel.
Right. Yes,
Parallel.
sir. Yes, sir.
And Quindaro.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I know that from Popper, because Popper, you know, when he did the Quindaro, the KC thing when I was under Landmark. You know, so.
Talk to us about. So are we going to see more of State Line? I know y'all did a short film, right? I think I messed it up the last time Chuck was in the room. So y'all did a short film. Mm-hmm. So what can Kansas City expect? I've gotten a lot of responses, a lot of emails, you know what I mean? So what can Kansas City expect from State Line?
That's a good question. I'm gonna look right here to this camera right here, because that is a beautiful question. Because Chuck, what can we expect from State Line? Like, are we expanding on a story? Do we want to do a series with it? Like, what can we expect? No, I told Chuck, when he first came to me with the idea of doing State Line, he was like, bro, I really just want to do something for the city.
Yeah.
Like, that can go viral. I'm just going to put it online. I'm like, that's it? Like, you don't want to? I'm like, well, you might as well like put it in festivals and stuff. Because we was having a conversation about, I was telling him he had to make it SAG, which that's some of that red tape I have to go through when I'm a part of a project, because I'm a union actor.
Oh, okay.
So it has to be a SAG project. It's got to be a union project. But shout out to SAG. They have these different tiers where they make it easier when you're doing a small, low budget film. Thank God, because we didn't have to do some of the other films I've done. It's so much paperwork and it takes a lot of time. But because this was a lower budget, like under 20K, it's fairly easy to make that, and you can negotiate the rates with the actor. Because usually if I'm a part of a project and it has to be SAG, there's a minimum that I have to get paid for it to be a part of that project, because you got to pay into my pension, pay into my health insurance, all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
But when it's that smaller budget, they allow for negotiation between producer and actor. So I put him up on that, like, nah, bro, I've used this same agreement before when I produce my own stuff, you know, because it's pretty much just me and a couple of my friends, and we don't need all that. Like, so I was like, and you know, I ain't worried about the money, but just so I'm covered. So SAG don't try to kick me out. Right. Like, just make it a SAG project. And I'm like, if it's going to be SAG, you already got, like, you might as well put it into festivals, see what you could do with it, take it as far as you can. You know, more than just, yes, it's dope to do something for the city that could just go viral, but like, let's take it to the fullest extent. We don't know what we could do with it. So I don't know what Chuck has planned for it, but I'm hoping that, you know, he's pushing it out there. I've been pushing it out to everybody I know and stuff, and I'm hoping he gives it a good festival run, because I spend a lot of time at these film festivals and I see a lot of stuff that is, I hate to talk negatively about other people's work. I see a lot of stuff that I think Chuck's work is up there with and surpassing a lot of that work. In my personal opinion, I don't mean the films are bad, because bad is just, it's subjective. It's, you know, but yeah, I hope he do something with it. You know,
I'm here for it, man. To be able to see one black man to another black man say that I support your work, and to praise another black man's work. That's what this platform is all about, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're changing the community one conversation at a time, and it's because of those things, those conversations, that genuine friendship. And mentorship, authenticity, I think that we could really take Kansas City to another level. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So we talked about the future of State Line. As we wrap up and close things out, what can Kansas City expect from Petey? Like, what's next? What's on the horizon, man?
Man, I got so many things on the horizon. A lot of them I can't even talk about.
Okay.
I'm working on, I just got done with a film that I'm producing with my homies, that we filmed in New York. We also did a film that we filmed in Jeff City. That was a concept short action film. So it's my first little action thing that I did. So we got that. We filmed that concept short, and we in the process now of trying to take it and hopefully get some money from it. I pray, because a lot of money was spent on it. I pray for the people who spent the money. It wasn't my money, but I pray for the sake of the people who spent that money that you know, we're able to take it somewhere and get it picked up. We got a lot of good eyes on it already though, so I'm feeling good about it. I'm working on a TV show that I cannot say much about right now.
You're going to be in the TV show, or you're producing?
Both. I'm going to be producing, directing, writing, one of the lead actors in it. It's a lot. It's so much right now.
That's dope.
But that's the thing I'm working on. I don't want to talk about it too much, because there's still so much to do, and if it falls apart, which in this industry I've seen it happen. So it could fall apart and not happen. I thoroughly believe it will. I'm actually having a meeting about it in a couple days, which is, I wanted to stay here in Kansas City longer, but I gotta fly back up there to have a meeting with the money man, the financier, executive producer. But yeah, I'm in the process of trying to convince him to not do a full series, at least all at once, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to film the full series ourselves, and I'm trying to convince him to film a pilot, and then let's sell that pilot or get some money for the rest of the show by using the pilot while we're filming the show. Either one of those options, because it's just a tall ask. Like, you know, if we spend $800,000 and we split that across 8 episodes, we only get $100K every episode, which is not a lot of money when it comes to film at all. It's a lot of money, and like that's a lot of money, but when it comes to film,
right,
it's not a lot at all, and especially because we're gonna be putting some celebrities, some bigger names in the show, you know. So it's like that ain't enough money.
Yeah.
But if we film a pilot and we spend $300K, $400K on this one episode, make it good, make it really good, we could take that to these other people who have the millions of dollars and who have the, you know, and or who see something in us and want to invest and want to be a part of it. Or you never know, a network could pick it up. So anything, you know, but if we have that pilot already, then we can use that. Even if we decide to keep filming the rest of the series ourselves, we could do that while we're still putting this pilot out there. But it's such a, even all this stuff I'm saying is stuff that I'm learning through experience. And some of it like on the fly, like I'm learning right now as I'm trying to do all these things, because I've never worn all these hats. Yeah. But I have a lot of friends in the industry, and I just ask my friends, and you know, it's a blessing to even be in positions like this, because what one of the biggest things that I've learned is to take every situation like it's the first time. Like I try to come at everything with no preconceived notions. You know, like I don't know how anything works, because I don't. Yeah. Because this is my first time in this situation. For example, like I've done interviews, you know, podcast interviews before. Yeah. I could come in here and say I know exactly how this is gonna go because I'm a pro at podcast interviews. I know it. But I've never been in this room with y'all doing this podcast. That's good. It's a new opportunity. Same thing I say all the time in relationships. You know, I go into a relationship and I could bring all my baggage and my preconceived notions of what I know about relationships, because I've been in so many. Yeah. But I've never been in this relationship with this person at this moment right now. So I try to treat everything like it's the first time, and it just makes it more exciting. It makes it fresh for me. So like even going into this project, yes, I know so much and a lot more. I don't even know. I hate saying a lot more, but I know a lot of things that the other people who are part of the project don't know. And sometimes it makes me shut them down, because I'm like, I just don't think, like, that's not usually how that goes. That's not, but who says how anything goes? Like, usually, yes. Right. But who's to say we can't be the ones to break the mold? This is our first time in this situation doing this thing. Yeah. So treat it that way. And when you do that, it's more exciting for everybody, because we're all in this thing together, creating it. If it is a relationship, y'all in that together, creating this new thing that's not influenced by all these other things. And that's what I'm trying to do in my work too. I'm creating something new. That's good. That's not influenced by all these other things. That's good. So,
last words. Look directly in the camera, and there's a lot of people that look up to you in this, not only in this industry, but this city, and that are, like you said, up and coming actors. If you were to give, and I have a heart for young people, but if you were to give someone looking to you for advice, just some advice for maybe even a minute long, right? Of some of the things that could have helped, that you wish that somebody would have said to you at a younger age. What would that be?
Man, a few things. The first thing that I will say is you are enough. That's one of the toughest things that I had to learn. It's the same thing I was talking about with that imposter syndrome. You are enough. Sometimes you feel like your past or things that you've been through, or your upbringing, or your family, or whatever the case, whatever these outside things make you feel like you don't deserve to be in certain rooms or in certain places, but you are enough. And start with yourself. And once you know that you are enough, you'll act accordingly, because it will take you to heights that you never knew that you could reach. Another important thing that I've learned throughout my career that helps me so much in life is slow down and enjoy the moments. Don't miss it. I had a professor who told me, and it just unlocked something in my brain, like, don't miss it. You go through a lot of things. I went through my mom passing. I went through my little brother getting killed, in front of the BP on 35th and Prospect. I went through all these things, through my cousin Tifa passing, my grandma passing, all these things while being on a major TV show, right? And I missed a lot of moments. I missed those moments because of all these outside things. And I know it's hard. I know that is such a hard thing to do. But for somebody who can be going through all these things and still take time to keep reminding myself, because even if you just keep reminding yourself that, you're halfway there, because you realize that there might be moments that you're missing. So don't miss the moments. Like, be present. You are enough. And be great. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not. We filter out the voices. Filter out the voices, because nobody can tell you how to be you the way you know how to be you.
Man, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to just pray with you real quick. Is that good,
man,
bro?
Of course, yeah.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just lift up Petey right now in the name of Jesus, God. Lord Father, I pray that everything that he touches and everything that he's a part of, Lord Father, that your presence is there. Lord Father, you say some plant, others water, but God gives increase, Lord God. So I pray that every step of the way, Lord Father, that he's looking to you for the example and for the reason for the season, God. I pray that you extend to him prosperity, Lord. I pray that you extend to him wisdom and understanding to be able to make thoughtful and considerate moves as he continues to elevate to the place that you've already predestined for him to be at, God. Lord Father, I pray that everything that he says that he wants to do, Lord Father, that you acknowledge, because you said you have not because you ask not, God. And so as we understand that life and death is in the power of the tongue, Lord Father, we're going to say that his production that he's doing is going to be successful, God. All the financial partners that need to be a part of it will be there, God. All the people that he need and all the relationships that need to be formed will be formed right now in the name of Jesus, God, because you said that you are a gracious God. And so we just thank you in advance, Lord God, for everything that you've done. But honestly, God, we are so blessed that if you never did anything else, Father, that we just thank you for where we are. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Hey, Petey, Let's Talk Shop KC podcast.
I got one question.
Go for it.
You go ahead and do your outro and then I ask you.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. KC mode. Y'all just heard from my boy Petey McGee. Hey, this is to have him in this studio has been a blessing. In more ways than one, because I love watching those show Power, which is funny. And then to be able to say that it'll be dope to have somebody like him on the show, especially when you find out which actors are KC owned. Mm-hmm. And then for him to be here, when I say this prayer that life and death is in the power of the tongue, speak life into every situation that you're in, because you never know how that's going to come back around. So KC, again, this is Let's Talk Shop KC podcast. I'm your host, Reggie McKeithen. We're changing this community one conversation at a time.
Yeah,
We're about to take a question.
All right. Well, it's kind of a complex question, but it's personal, but it's for the broad masses.
Please.
I'm 49. Somebody told me, I'm 49 now. I got a son that's a junior at Morehouse. And when he was 14, 15, he was making money on YouTube. And he said, I'm not going to need to go to college because I'm going to be rich by then, which, this day and time, that's a real thing. I talked to a guy about it, and he said, it's a blessing even for you to be able to explore the arts, because that means that you were raised in an environment where you didn't have to do things just to eat, just to live, but you actually had the opportunity to explore the arts. And so with that, my son is at Morehouse. I got a niece that's in LA in acting school. Mm-hmm. She graduated from Spelman. He's about to go to Morehouse. And so there's a group, and I'm learning about acting. It takes time.
Yeah.
And the one, ironically enough, that's in acting school, she has a sister that's a lawyer. And so she's finished law school. She's starting to do law, and acting is much slower. And you have that formal education. How did you manage, even graduating from UMKC, you saw people go get jobs making $40,000, $50,000 a year, and you're like, I'm in the arts and it's going to take longer. How do you mentally manage that, and what do you say to inspire people to, you know, this is my path, I need to stay on it? And you kind of mentioned that money isn't a big thing, but how do you balance between money and pursuing your dreams and your careers in the arts?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, money's a huge thing. Money's a huge thing. I have to remind my family that all the time. They think I'm rich. I'm not. I'm not. They think people think because they see. I was just having this conversation with my aunt earlier, telling her, I'm like, yeah, people see you on TV and they automatically think you're rich. And it's like, no, I work a job just like y'all work a job. My job, yes, it might pay me more money all at once, but then I don't know when I'm gonna have another job. You know, like if I do a little film and I get paid $30,000 to do this film, all right, I got $30,000 in a week, but now I don't have another job for 6 months. So I got to make that $30,000 stretch for 6 months. That means you get paid more than I do working at wherever you work, at the call center or whatever, because you have that consistent money throughout the year, right? So money, it can get tough being in this industry, especially being younger and first coming into it when you really want all the things. I had support. I had supportive people behind me, it really was a blessing for me because I lived off student loans when I was in school, so that's how I survived, right? And what I would say to people, which everybody has different journeys, but if it is the journey of going to school for acting, do everything while you're in school, because you never gonna get that time back. And that's the time you have to do everything, because your bills are being paid for the most part while you're in school. Like whether you're staying on campus or you're getting student loans or grants or whatever, your bills are being paid. So while your bills are being paid, do everything, because that's when you have the least pressure of like, I gotta move into a house and pay rent and get a car note and not like, nah, you don't have that stuff right now. So go do those acting jobs for free. Because a lot of this industry, especially starting off, you do a lot of free stuff. You know, to get your name out there, to get yourself out there. You do a lot of stuff and it's a lot of work that you're not getting paid for. So it's really important to find little hustles, little side jobs, which is what I had to do. I always had to find. I've bartended for like 15 years.
Shut up.
So I always, when I wasn't working, even now, if I'm not working as an actor, I'll go bartend somewhere right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, but that's because I know I can make good money. I can work in a bar for 3-4 days and make like $1,600-$1,700, you know, at the bar. So I'm like, I'll just go do that. So side hustles are very important, but the mindset is like, it's really about how bad you want this thing. Because some people, I always realize, I'm like, I guess they didn't want it bad enough, which is fine. It's good that you realize that younger, I guess. Because I do have people who are that I know that they graduated. Sometimes it breaks my heart. One of my homeboys, he went to UMKC for grad school, which means he paid extra money to go as an actor to graduate school. And then he left and said, I don't want to be an actor anymore. And it's like, man, that grad school is expensive.
Right.
You know, but it's hard to be an actor because you can't always pay your bills. Right now, the thing is to create your own work, because that's where I see a lot of money happening these days. And like your son was saying about, like, I could just sit on YouTube and not, like, there's some truth to that. So like if you have a passion for that, I wish I had it. I don't have it in me to do the like social media and the content creation and like every time I think I want to do it and I try, I'm like, man, it just ain't for me. And I wish it was. I really wish it was, because I want to do it, because I know I have friends who they make a lot of money off of it.
So you're good at everything.
Yeah, I know. You know, I can't. Something in me, man. I cringe up every time. I'm like, man, I just got to create stuff for the sake of creating. I guess I'm too pretentious with my art. I'm too much of a purist. I'm like, I want to create when the spirit guides me to create some stuff, or some money guides me to create some stuff. But I'm like, I want to make good art, so I try to focus on making good art, which sometimes takes me longer. But yeah, I think it's a tough thing to watch and to see. But I think if you have a passion for something, I always tell people this. If you really have a passion for it, and if it's something you really want to do, follow it. Follow it to the end. Follow it until you are like, all right, I have no money, no way to live, no nothing. If you still got somewhere to live, if you still got a car, if you still got then I mean you ain't ran out of everything yet. Like follow your passion. If you still got a cousin's house who you could sleep on the couch for 6 months, like you ain't ran out of everything yet. Follow it until the end, because if you're passionate about it and you follow it with passion and with the love you have for the thing, the money will come. I always see it. The money comes, and it'll come right when you, at the point where you really do want to give up and you're like, man, I can't, I don't, you know? So I tell people that all the time, like right now, even right now, the position I'm in right now, I always am like, it might be time to give up acting. I love acting. It's like the only thing I could ever think I'd want to do in my life. But, you know, I got kids, I got bills, and sometimes the acting gets slow. And I'm like, I might need to find something that can sustain me more than this acting does.
Another question. It's crazy that you said that you went to London. It's crazy to me anyway. That you said you went to London when we're seeing such an influx of London actors coming to America and being African American. How was that experience in London? Like, is it like a reverse competition? Like, are black actors more popular over there, or this is just a journey you chose to go?
Nah, not really. They love London actors over in London too. They love black men in London just in general. Like black Americans, American men in London. They love, if you're single and you're a black man, go over to London, because they love American black men over there. And I think there is a certain appeal to being American and an actor when you're in London. But I think London actors are just, they train so well. I can't even, like, I've had this argument with people before, but it's like, yeah, but they good though. Like, yes, they coming over here and taking our jobs, but they're good. Just be as good as they are. Like, train, study, because that's what puts them above. It's not, they don't have an appeal necessarily because they're British, because they doing American accents. Right. So they're not hiring them because they're British. They're hiring them because they're good actors. So it's really about, you know, getting to the top of your craft, train, study. Because people think that acting is just getting in front of a camera, or you just have this like raw talent, which raw talent is good. Raw talent helps, but there's no way you could be the best actor if you don't train. And a lot of people don't think that. They don't think about that. You got to train. And those London actors, they're all very well trained, and they train for years on the craft of acting.
Like, do they start earlier?
I think a lot of them do start earlier. They start because acting is a bigger culture over there. Stage acting too. Like when I was over there, I felt like a celebrity as a stage actor. Like, the celebrities I saw were the ones who were on stage. Over here, like, don't nobody know who. A lot of times, like, if you are not an actor or in that community, you might not know the actors that are on Broadway. Yeah. You know? But you know who's on your TV and film. Right. Over there, right? You know, they know those Broadway or, you know, West End over there, you know, that they are celebrities over there, you know, the ones who, and that's where some of the, Denzel always says it, like, the best actors come from the stage. And those actors are trained to be on the stage, and they train at those dope acting schools. Yeah. And of course they, you know, they're at the pinnacle of what, I won't say the pinnacle, but they higher up there, you know, when it comes to what you want to see. As if you're the person casting, if you're the casting director or the director, you watching what they do, you know, you watching that tape, or, you know, if they auditioning in person, that's what you're watching. You're not like, oh, they're British, let me see, you know. Yeah. Let me see what this British, but I think what we do kind of know and expect it now. They're like, yeah, those British actors are good. And I think it's actually harder for us as Americans to find work over there, you know.
So last question for real this time. I coach baseball, a lot of baseball. For our young black men, like, being a 14-year-old young black man that wants to be an actor in Kansas City is almost like that's a whack thing to do or to pursue. It's not a masculine, macho it's not a popular thing to do. So how do we get more young black men into acting early enough to where they're competing with London?
Preach, somebody.
That's a great question.
That is a really good question.
Yeah.
Okay, look, you about to make me start swiveling in my chair, man. That is a really good question. And I think about this all the time because, you know, I grew up without access to any of that either, which is why I used to feel less than when I first started acting, even because I started so late. And I went to school with all these, even when I went to UMKC, I went to school with all these white people who knew a lot more about acting and about the craft and about all these different playwrights and plays and all this stuff that I had no clue about. Cause like I grew up in the projects. Like I grew up, I mean, y'all know, you play basketball, you rap, or you get a regular job to support your family. You work at a warehouse, you become a firefighter, you know,
Yes,
you do
sir.
something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
The acting, arts is not really a thing. And especially when you get clowned in the hood for wanting to do art. Like I did ballet. And I remember having to hide that. Like, man, I ain't about to let nobody see me in these tights. I ain't never gonna hear the end of it. And if anybody say something about it, I'm gonna punch them first.
Right.
Like just so you know, like I'm not the one to be played with, cause that's how it is, you know, when you grow up in areas like we've grown up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's about, especially as the older black man, it kind of is on our generation too, to first let our own children. Let them know and present it to them. Like I never had nobody who even showed me. I didn't even know acting was a thing for real. Like I saw it on TV, but I never saw it as something that I could be doing. You know? So I think it's about exposure. Like we need to be exposing our own children to that as in the black community, especially as black men and women, to our kids, because we don't even think about it sometimes. You know, I do because I'm an actor, but if you're not an actor, you might not think about the arts as a viable option as a career, because some of those, you know, sometimes we want to live in what we think is the real world and say like, yeah, I know you can't really make a lot of money. You know, it's hard. It's a hard career. All that. What would be easier? Be a doctor. Be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Be like that stuff is easier. But I think you got to let your kid naturally express themselves, and you have to expose them to all the things and let them choose, because then they see acting, which acting is probably enticing to a lot of children.
Yeah.
Once they see it, it's something that they can do. You know, so I think we don't take our kids to plays. We got to start taking our kids to plays, to see live theater. You know, the Coterie is right there in Crown Center. They always got children's plays happening there. Like, take our kids to see them plays. The Unicorn is right on Main. It's a little more adult. That's how, you
right.
know, it depends on what play is there. But, you know, the Rep, they doing Christmas Carol all the time at KC Rep. They doing, like, we need to expose our kids to this, because then if our kids get interested, even those theaters that I name have programs for kids. They have programs that kids can join, and classes and stuff like that kids can at a young age, because then it's fun when you're starting off. So it's something like, my son is an actor, very talented actor. He's got a movie that's on Prime Video.
That's dope.
He's worked at KC Rep doing a musical there a couple times. Like, he's been all around, and he was exposed to it, of course, because his dad is an actor, and his mom's family, they're all like local Kansas City actors who've done a lot of theater and film, right? And it was exposure. Because he was exposed to it, he's like, I want to do that too.
That's dope.
And he got really good. Probably gonna be a better actor than I ever am, because he's at a young age, he's able to already get in there and tap into it. But it's because he was exposed to it.
That's dope. I love it, man. I love it. Hey, y'all heard it. Petey McGee, he's dropping gems. He's talking about exposure. He's talking about access. He's talking about mentorship. He's talking about so many things that you need to tap in and be able to see why you should support him. Shout out your social medias or whatever. That way people can know where to follow you.
Yes, follow me on Instagram at Petey McGee. It's Petey McGee with an extra E, PETEYMCGEEE. I think that's the only social media that I really use. I have other ones, but I don't really use any of it. You could probably find me under the same name on TikTok and Facebook, maybe. And I might not get back to you. Unless it's on Facebook, actually, I be getting back to people sometimes. A lot of my acting community is on Facebook.
And then your son, you talked about your son's movie. Where can they find that at?
Yeah, it is called oh, that was not the name of it that I was about to say. I was about to just make up a name. It's on Prime.
I put you on the spot.
You
boy.
did.
My
Now
bad,
I feel
my
horrible
bad.
for not knowing the name of it.
You know his mom's is gonna say something like, "How you ain't go?" I'm just playing.
She definitely. So you don't even know your kids. That's what she gonna hit me with.
All right.
Watch this. I know what it's called. After. Hey, yeah. Hold on, I'm just about to call him real fast.
How old is he?
He's 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. He's the young one.
Okay. You know, kids embarrass you. Don't even answer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he got. Oh.
What's good, Dad?
What's the name of your movie that you did? The one that was on Prime. That's on Prime.
They Wait in the Dark.
They Wait in the Dark. That's the name of it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna call you in a little bit so I can meet y'all back at Constance's house.
All right.
All right.
All right, KC, we gotta support Petey.
Yes.
Hey, if you could let us know how we could support you as a city. If you could just stay in collaboration with us, man.
Yeah.
Because again, my podcast, it's all about being able to support each other.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
thank you so much for making time for us, man.
For sure. I'm coming
blessed.
back here with exclusives, man. I'm working on a lot of things that I wish I could say more about right now, but when I am able to, man, I'm coming right here with the exclusive, man.
You heard it. So if you
Yeah,
see
man.
him on somebody else's stuff, bro, holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
said
man.
exclusives right here.
Yeah.
Hey, KC, thank you. Showing love. Appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Later.